So let me start this video by reading some quotes. I hate, loathe, and despise schools. School is bad for you. If you have any talent, you should be cultivating that talent in your own particular way. I didn't fail school. School failed me. School fails entrepreneurs every day because it's not built for entrepreneurs. It's built for workers. So, if a lot of you notice, a lot of these, let's just call them online gurus, they've been promoting the idea that college is such a waste of time, such a waste of money, and a lot of those things along those lines. And so, as a college graduate myself, it really got me thinking, like, what makes them think that way? So after hearing those quotes, it just gives me the feeling that there are a lot of people that really hates going to school, especially going to college. And it's like, as a college graduate myself, I kind of question it. I kind of question like why do people just don't like going to college? Why does the idea of going to a university is such a bad idea? And so the first thing that I think I remember, or at least is like very noticeable for me, is that a lot of successful people in this world don't actually go to college. I mean, like they do, but they dropped out of college. So I think people still count them as not going to college because they didn't graduate college. Like Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, all these people, they built their businesses when after they dropped out of college. And so it gives people like the idea of, maybe we don't really have to go to college to be successful. And that is true. To a certain extent, that is very true. And there's another thing that I kept hearing over and over and over again, especially in the US, about how the school system is flawed. Everyone has to learn everything, and there's really no like specialized learning. Like you do have majors, but other than those majors, you still have to do like some other classes like to fill up the credits and all that. And a lot of people don't like that. Some people may just want to learn psychology. They don't want to bother with like science or math or whatever. And so sometimes it gets too general to the point where people think they're just learning useless classes that they won't ever gonna need in the future. Like who's gonna use algebra? Who's gonna use like I don't know, all those math formulas in our daily lives. And so I think it gets to me as well, especially in high school, having those thoughts like why am I learning this? Why is this important for my future? And what do they mean? Especially that quote by Gary Vee. I think it's a pretty popular quote, like being used, especially on Instagram. Like, why do school fail students all over the world to become entrepreneurs, even though not all of them wants to be entrepreneurs? In what specific way has school failed students? The only thing that really comes to mind is that schools gives you a degree, but a lot of students that graduated college, they don't really know what to do with their lives, and then they just got lost. So I think in essence, a lot of schools don't really teach their students as to like what to do really, like in real life. Like I heard they don't teach about tax or debt or stuff like that. I mean, I didn't know that about tax and debts in Indonesia even till now. Honestly, no one really taught me how, and those are the important subjects that I think a lot of people needs to learn, but kind of gets brushed off. And with a lot of people saying that the system is flawed, what do they have to offer as an alternative? A lot of people I heard that's been complaining, they just complain and never really give, at least never give me any like of a good alternative as to how do we fix the system? How do we create successful students in the working world? All I hear so far are just like how school is just so bad. Like I'm just incurring debt and everything. I don't learn what I want. Just a lot of complaining. And so let me tell you this. This is what most people who hated school actually do. This is, in my opinion, from my experience. I'm not saying everyone's like this. This is just from like my 4 years of going to college in America. People who actually hated school, they barely work hard in school. They choose a useless major That's very important. And they blame their surroundings for not being successful. This is just sad, honestly. Like I just wanna let's just talk a bit more about the second point, where a lot of students just choose like just awful majors. Like if you guys just Google the internet, you'll actually find out what are the majors that you're supposed to avoid, and like what are the majors that are actually useful for, like for the future. Computer science, a lot of science majors, STEM, science, technology, engineer, and math. Those four are always reliable, and people will always need people with those majors in the future, regardless of like the time, because like those four studies will always evolve in the future, and so new people needs to learn those things. I just don't understand. Like, no offense to people who are taking like uh I don't know, language studies, linguistics, and a lot of these I would say like liberal arts major. I think like unless you have a clear plan as to what you want to do with that specific major. Like let's say you take Asian studies. Let's say someone takes Asian studies as their major. Unless you have like a specific plan as to what you want to do with that major, like it's gonna be pretty hard to find someone who would want to hire like an Asian studies major student. Maybe you can become a teacher, but like other than that, that's really like the only thing that I can think of really. Honestly, in my opinion, I don't think it's as bad as people say. For everyone who says that like kids doesn't have to go to school, like what are they supposed to do? Like this is a huge problem in America, where kids need something to get off the streets, is what they say. Kids need something to do, and if they don't go to school, unless they have a plan, like a clear plan, it's just very dangerous for them to just be left down in the streets. I mean, like not literally left down in the streets, just like kept them hanging as to like because they don't know what to do. I think school is there to actually guide you, so that you know what you want to do. But it just guides you though. Like the other, I'd say like 80% of the work has to come from you. Because like when you're young, it's very hard to push yourself to work hard. If any of you guys have tried like online schools, no, like online courses like Udemy and everything. Like me personally, I've tried those courses before, and it was very hard for me to like push myself to like do those courses, even though I pay for it. No one's like really behind me and telling me like you need to finish this by this date. Like this makes you lazy so easy. And so it may not be the best solution. It may not be the best system that we have. But like this is ironically this is the best that we've got so far. Like I'm not to say that everyone needs to go to school. This is just to say that if you do have a plan, if you do know what you want to do in your life, then school is not then you don't have to go to school, because a lot of these people, they know what they want to do. Mark Zuckerberg wants to make Facebook, Steve Jobs wants to make Apple, and then they stop whatever they're doing because they know what they want to do in the future. And that is what's important for a lot of students, college students, a lot of people in general. Well, that's kind of it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Just always come with a plan and just do your best. I'm sure everything will work out in the end. Thanks. Bye bye.